Hello again. Well, thanks to many of my viewers, there's no shortage of material for me to turn into videos. You know, I posted MVI 6962, Greece's banks shuttered. Are we next? Well, one of the viewers appears to think so. He wrote, "Yes, Gabor. Your question, will this economic hit the USA? I pay a lot of attention to the news and economic news. You realize a lot of the news is propaganda and lies. Well, the same is true for the economic news. They lie. After a while, somehow, a person learns to weed through it. They see the truth. They see the lie. I think we're headed for trouble, big trouble economically. It will spread around the world. If you see Europe falling really hard, it will be here next within days. Greece is small, but it spreads into, say, Italy, Spain, France, then probably Germany. Get ready, it's coming here. It could even start here, but I expect to start over there. I'm not sure. When it hits, it's going to hit hard. This will be when all hell breaks loose, when people can't eat. That's when things go crazy. This country is already crazy enough. Just wait. Be prepared with a month's worth of canned food and keep your fingers crossed. It doesn't lead us into a major war. Conditions like we are in is what started World War I and II. It's all money related. Forget the sinking of the Lusitania and the Archduke Ferdinand thing and Pearl Harbor. Nope. They were all set up kind of false flags. It was the banks, actually, and the beginning of the New World Order. They still haven't achieved it yet, but they will. They haven't come this far for nothing. Get ready. It will be here soon. Obama, maybe or maybe not, the next president. They want a warmonger in, but that's not necessary because once this one starts, there's no turning back. You know, I don't really see the benefit of having a month's worth of canned food. All that'll do is prolong the inevitable. If this happens the way some people expect it to happen, once again, all a month's worth of food will prolong the inevitable. I don't want to be here to suffer. Do you? I have no doubt that this is where it's going to lead. Obama wants to turn America into a shithole like he's used to. That's what he wants. And he's not going to stop until he's done what he's promised. And the only promise that he's ever even remotely kept is when he said he'll transform America. You know what amazes me is how stupid Democrats are. And most Republicans, for that matter. You know, I spoke about having a Democratic friend. I made mention of him 2 or 3 times. Well, he and I are no longer friends. And the reason we're no longer friends is when the announcement came that Justice Roberts rolled over and gay marriages are going to be mandatory everywhere. That individual that I was friends with thought it was great. People can actually marry those that they love. I got a real problem with them using the word marry. You can't breed a camel and a donkey. It doesn't work. The same way as you can't breed 2 homosexuals. That doesn't work. AIDS is God's punishment for that kind of activity. That's sort of what I think. I'm sort of digressing. My point is, as I've said before, it's almost impossible to have a Democrat for a friend. And sadly, that applies to a lot of Republicans that are clueless. I'm tired in dealing with and befriending clueless people. I don't expect people to invest the amount of time that I do, or I have, but I expect them to be aware of critical issues. And when they're not, I don't have time for them. So that Democratic friend that I had, I no longer have. And I should have known that it would lead to this. No different than Obama rubbing the gay pride bullshit in our faces. That Democratic friend that I had pretty much did the same by rubbing it into my face. I don't like things being rubbed into my face. So he's no longer a friend of mine. And if you have any Democratic friends, if you're a quasi-conservative, get rid of them. They would think nothing if you were to be made to suffer, which we all are learning how to suffer. Our country is in its death throes. Who can we blame for all this? Well, it goes back beyond Obama. It goes back before the Bushes, but they were a big part of it. Our government doesn't work. Our system of government doesn't work. There's too much corruption that takes place. When you allow people to remain in power for 30 years, they remain in power for 30 years, and their wealth grows at an astronomical rate. There's something wrong with that. I really get tired of hearing the word when they say they serve. Bullshit. The only ones they serve is themselves. How many members of Congress or the Senate have lost children on the battlefield? I'm sure there might be one or two, but that's probably it. George Bush never went to war. Bill Clinton never went to war. He avoided the draft, not once, not twice, countless times. Barack Hussein Obama can't even throw a goddamn baseball, let alone go to war. And this is the commander-in-chief. And that General Dempsey is the leader of our armed forces. Buddy could do a better job than General Dempsey. Buddy could do a better job than Barack Hussein Obama. Obama doesn't do anything. He just sits back and reads the teleprompter. All of the events that are unfolding are done by the corrupt organization that's controlling this homosexual, Islamic, extremist Muslim Arab. I don't think he's going anywhere. He's not going to give the new Air Force One to Jeb Bush, to Donald Trump, to Hillary Rodham Clinton, or to anyone else. The command center that's being built at the White House isn't being built for anyone else. He might step back. He might not defy the 22nd Amendment. It's not going to stop Michael from coming forward. That's what this whole push is, transgenderism, from Michael to come forward. People are clueless. You know what? I really can't blame a lot of them. They're all in the survival mode. But if they don't get their act together, I don't care what mode you're in, the lights are all going to get turned off. Barack Hussein Obama is a radical extremist, Islamic, homosexual Muslim Arab. The Secret Service knows it, yet they protect him. They protect Valerie Jarrett, who is not even an elected official. I'm sure they protect Eric H. Holder Jr., who will be the new Supreme Court Justice. You know, I talked about that earlier on. I thought for certain that he'd get rid of Ruth Ginsburg, and he will get rid of Ruth Ginsburg. That old battle axe needs to be put into a home, along with the senator from the great state of Arizona, Johnny Leanbrain McCain. Well, actually, he needs to go to Leavenworth. That's where he needs to go. You know what's amazing is I could talk for hours, for days. There's nothing that I'm not aware of that's taken place in the last, 4 to 5 years. I've been intimately involved in pretty much everything. Do you have any idea how frustrating it is to wake up and see our country being destroyed as each day goes by? Seeing Michael travel the world at your expense. See that jackass get off of Air Force One waving. The whole thing is sickening. In Congress, you're all useless. And you senators, for the most part, are all useless. There's a few congressmen that are worthy, like Jim Jordan. But 99.9% of you are useless. You know, I think I made mention I was supposed to have a meeting with one of my congressmen. I met with him about 3 months ago, and I was scheduled to meet with him on the 1st of July. Got a call from his office this morning, and according to what she had said, he needed to cancel our appointment. He had a death in the family, and I said, I'm very sorry to hear that. And then I said, well, can we reschedule? And the reason I wanted to reschedule is because when I met with him the last time, I'd given him 3 suggestions. And I asked him to see if he'd consider proposing those 3 suggestions. One was to make certain that any senator or congressman that gets involved in voting on the bill has a clue as to what's in the bill. So they're tested prior to being allowed to vote on the bill. If they don't know the material, they can't vote. The other one was establishing term limits. 2 terms for a senator or congressman, and you can't jump the way the senator from Arizona, Jeffrey Flake, did. He was a congressman for 10 years, and now he's a senator. We need to get rid of the dead wood, and that's what they all become, dead wood. The third one, again, we've got the term limits. We've got to make certain that they can review material before they are allowed to vote. You know what, I really honestly don't even remember the third one because there's just so much going on. But there was a third one. In either case, his aide came back and said, well, we can reschedule when he has his next gathering of his constituents. And you know, I said, forget about it. I said, it won't do any good. He's done nothing with the 3 suggestions that I've given him. I think the third one was to investigate Michael. But in either case, I told her forget about it. And then I told her that for the most part the country is lost. And I can understand why our congressional representatives don't do anything. And there's no point in us meeting. I've covered a whole lot of different topics in this particular video. If you've come to this point, I appreciate you investing your time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.